patterns that I am considering. We've got this one first, that's from 1960. It's a branded one from a brand of wool, which I can't remember what it's called. Pattons and Baldwin, there we go. And this belonged to my grandmother, and she bought it from her local shop where she lived in Henleys. And it's got a nice child's cardigan, but I quite like this beret. It looks quite simple, and it's in double knitting, and you only need 4 ounces of double knitting, which is roughly 100 to 125 grams of wool, so I should be able to find that. But I thought it was quite nice and decorative. See the pretty pattern? So that's one option. And then, but I also was thinking about like maybe some gloves. So I found this one, another one of my grandmother's patterns, or possibly great-grandmother's, we're not sure. This is knitted gloves on 2 needles, and you needed 3-ply, and they're reversible. And it says they're 2-colour reversible gloves, where you need 1 ounce of each colour of 3-ply. And it says the original ones were carried out in red and grey. And then the gloves with a simple Fair Isle design. And it hasn't given a colour idea for this one. Just 2 nice small glove patterns. And then next one I found was this one that actually was bought in Weston-super-Mare, so it must have been bought on holiday. And this is Copley's. It's advertising their 4-ply Excelsior wool, and you had the pattern for women, and you had the pattern for men, and it's got, knitted on 2 gloves. And I love how it says, to ensure satisfaction, Copley's wool as specified in this leaflet must be used, and the knitting instructions must be followed exactly, otherwise the gloves will not work out to measurements. That's definitely, use our wool, otherwise it will not work. And I love the fact that my grandmother or my great-grandmother must have made these because they've ticked off the rows when they've done them. And over here, you can see where they've tallied, where it's continue working backwards and forwards for 22 more rows. They've tallied every row. And I also love that this pattern comes with a 1-inch square for you to put over your knitting to check the tension, because for the men's gloves it says work to produce 7.5 stitches and 9.5 rows to a square inch for the knitting tension square. And I just love the fact. I'm sorry my camera just moved. The kittens are having fun down below. And you've got the man's gloves pattern first, and then at the end you've got the ladies' gloves, which are knitted in exactly the same wool, but they used a smaller knitting needle, so size 13 knitting needle, which is 2.5 millimetre, I think. And it's just made exactly as the instructions for the man's gloves, just exactly the same. No, don't climb up there. Sorry. And then the last pattern I found was this one, and this is called Gloves in Lavender, and it costs a princely sum of 4p. And I'm actually going to scan this one in so that I'm not working from the original pattern that we found. But it's 3 different gloves, 3 different patterns. So you can see we've got one with a scalloped pattern on the back. This one's actually 3 stripes, and this one's very elegant with the buttons. These are also knit in 3-ply. Tells you how to cast on. It's got all the abbreviations and everything. So I've decided the ones I'm going to have a go at making are the Ace of Hearts pattern, because I love the idea of the small buttons. So I'm going to give those a go. But I'm going to do a mock-up glove first, because I have quite long fingers and large hands, and I think I need to find out if it will fit me, because it just says to fit an average sized hand. And I think my hands might be slightly above average. So I've got some modern synthetic 3-ply, and I'm going to do a mock-up first before moving on to the proper one. So let's see how that goes. So last time you saw me, I'd just begun casting on for my practice glove, and here is the finished article in the modern 3-ply wool. It's actually come out really well. The moss stitch is really nice and delicate. I'll put it on. Now, I was a bit worried whether I had an average sized hand or not, but it turns out that I do. It fits absolutely perfectly. On the back there'll be buttons that you do together to join it up. So I'm actually really pleased with the fit. Thank you, Morgana, for your tail. Do you want to sit? Okay. So I've now got my West Yorkshire spinners in milk bottle. I do, like I've said before, I do really love West Yorkshire spinners 4-ply yarn. I love working with it. And so I'm going to start making the proper pair, and here's some footage of how that went.
the gloves are blocking. I don't have proper blocking pads, but these foam pads with the pins in a sunny window definitely do the job, and it's worked really well. And here they are. I'm really pleased with how they've turned out. They're really snug fit, and you can see the beautiful vintage buttons. I'm really pleased with those, and they're really nice and snug, and the seams have come out really nice and neat, and overall I'm just really happy. Thank you, and see you soon.